Billy Beige here, and I used to collect a lot of Transformers. I had a ton of stuff. I barely missed a release at one point. I was super into when they started doing Micro Masters again and just collected a whole bunch of older Micro Masters and the Rocket Base. And I had like, I still have a bunch in cases. I have them in boxes. I got them in totes. I started selling off a bunch of them this year, but I had already sold off my original Devastator there, and that Devastator had a lot of issues. It needed third party parts to actually make it worth uh, anything, honestly. Um, but in the end, it ended up being like a really good Devastator. Now let's see if they've improved on Scrapper here, because like when I had Scrapper before, when he was transformed into a foot, he was a terrible foot. He needed a 3D printed part to lock the shovel down so it actually would be a solid foot and not this weird floppy mess in the front. But let's take a look at Scrapper in the package here. He is a Voyager class. He was at my Walmart, surprisingly. This was on the shelf. There was only one of them, 35 bucks. I usually am really good about impulse buys where I don't fall for that. But when it's in front of me and it's something, because like I do have this pre-ordered from Big Bad Toy Store. I can't remember if I ordered it on Hasbro Pulse as well, but I do have it on Big Bad Toy Store. I guess you can just cancel that now because I got this one. Let's get him out of the package and take a look and see if he is an improvement on that original floppy foot. All right, so out of the package, you have to fold down his shovel in the back, then fold this back up, and it kind of locks into place. Spread his legs out, and there you go. That's Scrapper ready to go. And of course, articulation with any like Hasbro Transformer has where it's you know secondary to transformation. It always has been and always will be. But I mean, like he has where he can move his arms around in a fair amount. The fact that his arms actually kick out like that's pretty impressive because everything is in service to transformation always. But like bicep swivels, things like that. Obviously no waist twist, but hey, he's got a heck of a side bend to the to his left, so that's a thing. Legs can kick out so far, back, outward an insane amount because it's totally necessary. No, totally necessary. 90-degree knee bend, and of course it has where it's got that like insane ankle rocker. But I mean, like all Transformers have that. It seems like that's all Transformers in the last like God, is it a decade now? Oh man, it's been so long, but it does have like a little like kick forward there, but again, it's all in service to transformation, and a little bit of a ball socket for his head so he can kind of turn side to side, which I appreciate. It's a little bit ain't too much. Oh yeah. Oh, you can kick his hands in a little bit, so that counts. To go, he does come with a blaster, and it's very it works with the hollow because like okay, one side looks fantastic, other side not so great, but then it shows you put that in his hand and he has that going on for him there. Was that five? I think it's that 5 millimeter is the peg size in there. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while since I messed with everything. And then he does have where he has two parts to Devastator's main gun there, and he can hold them as well, but they do have where they just go together. Easy peasy, and has like a little focus, focus, a little key spot there. So, it goes one way, pull it out gently, and it actually has it on both sides. So you can go either way with that. That's a thing. They do have where they go on him. He can hold them. So, yeah. But transformation is where we're going to get to next. Let's see how long it takes. I will definitely do fast motion. So yeah, there you go. 17 steps. It was a little iffy when it got to those elbows bending backwards and having where it really locked in there. I was a little worried about it, but I was like, hey, it worked out. I think it looks decent. Um, I don't know. It just feels like for 35 bucks, you should get like a little bit more transformer there. But my one takeaway with the instructions here, there's no instructions on turning him into, Devastator's foot. I mean, like obviously, I'm gonna fumble through and get him there in a second, but I think if I'm buying Scrapper, I think he should come with the instructions for it. I'm sure it'll have where it's like, maybe it'll be with like Long Haul or Bone Breaker. Maybe it'll even be with like the last one they put out, because I think it's five Constructicons make one Devastator, and they have four slated for release so far. So it's got the one more, but yeah, you could include the instructions. I like how they integrated Devastator's weapon into like having a purpose to put, or at least spots to put on, or less more than just the 5 millimeter holes. It actually has like a little divots it clips into, and it feels real secure. Or you could just like pop them off, and then it's just construction equipment, which I kind of prefer to the extra like BS on there. But let me fumble through and see if I can get him turned into a foot. But yeah, all jokes aside, it's a solid foot. One of my issues, like I said, with the original Devastator, had where that front shovel was a floppy mess. Now they have where it's locked in there. It has where they have an actual like flip here to actually hold it in place, and the ankle on this, because it's an ankle. That's what it is. Um, the ratchet in here is quite strong, and as you can see, it goes a fair distance. Let me get my light right. Uh, yeah, it only goes in one direction, obviously, because it's the right foot. But man, like just listen. That's 4 clicks. So 4 clicks of movement, that much kind of like ankle rocker. That's pretty great. So is Studio Series Scrapper worth picking up? I think if you had where you had the original Devastator and you sold it and you kind of regret it, because I mean, like, he is iconic. He's dope as it as hell. Uh, I think this is a good start to like building it back, and just the improvements I feel with this figure, like that super strong ankle, the fact they've locked down those, like, I guess you would say Devastator's toes, the shovel of Scrapper. Since they've locked those down, they've made it more secure, more solid. I think that bodes well for the rest of Devastator. It'll be a good figure altogether. Do I think it's worth 35 bucks? It's kind of pushing it, but again, all in service for transformation, all in service of the combiner, It's, if you don't get him, you can't. Devastator's not going to be able to stand up. It is what it is. But tell me what you think down in the comments below. When's the last time you picked up a Transformer? I know this isn't my usual forte, but hey, I do buy a lot of random stuff. And maybe the big green dragon's not the only thing I'm looking at. So yeah, but let me just think down in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm I'm gonna commit to getting all the parts to Devastator, because I think I do want him back on my shelf. But until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.